Okay, so as you can see, I'm logged in as a user, Joan, and Joan has completed her Certified CSM Professional program. She's done the levels 1, 2, and 3 training, and she's gone on and done level 4 exams and passed those, and she's got her certificate. And in fact, if I click on the certification logo there, we can see a copy of her certificate. And you can see, in fact, that she passed her exams on the 18th of November 2022. And of course, as you know, our certification lasts for 2 years. So she's got until the 18th of November 2024. And at that stage, her certification will have expired if she doesn't do something about it. So there are actually a couple of ways that a company that owns and runs a certification might handle the recertification process. The old-fashioned way is simply to ask users to retake the exam. Now, the issue with that is that it means you've got to go back through all of the same materials you went through before and revise them, and then take the same exams as you took before to prove exactly the same thing that you proved 2 years ago. So to my mind, it's not really the best use of time. The alternative then is continuing professional development, and this is now increasingly being used by examining and authorizing bodies such as ourselves to renew and extend certifications, and that's the route we've chosen. So for us, instead of having to redo the exam or reset that, instead of that, each year our system will look at the amount of continuing professional development in hours that our user has done. And so long as it is 40 hours or more, it will automatically renew their certificate for them and give them an additional 12 months. So, for example, this person, Joan, she got certified on the 18th of November 2022. On the 18th of November 2023, it will look at her records and it will look to see if 40 hours or more of CPD is done, and if so, it will issue a new certificate to Joan, which will say on this date, 18th of November 2023, expiring 18th of November 2025, giving her another 2 years. And so each year, you can't do it every other year, you've got to do it every year, but each year you can extend by 12 months the 2-year certification that you've got. So that's the basic concept behind how it works. Let's see how you actually do that. So here we are on the dashboard, which of course tells us our progress through the certification program. But if I click here on this leftmost tab marked CPD and activity, this opens up more information. There's some more general information, but if I go to the bottom 2 sections, this tells me my CPD history and my recertification process. Progress, my apologies. So the CPD history is automatically set for a 12-month period up to the end of today, but I can choose that any period that I want to look at, and whatever period is shown, it'll show me how many hours of continuing professional development I have completed through our library, through live learning, through workshops, or externally. I'll come to that in a second, and the total amount obviously is a sum of all of those. And in the recertification progress section here, it tells me my start and end dates for the current recertification year, which of course is on the anniversary of when I got certified. Nothing to do with my membership. Membership is when you first joined. That's different. This is when you got certified. So this is a certification anniversary, not a membership anniversary. It's very important to understand that. And it's telling me how long I've got left. So, or how long this user, Joan, has got left, which is 8 months, 3 weeks and 6 days, and how much time left that she needs to do in CPD. She needs to do another 33 hours and 10 minutes, which of course is 40 hours minus the 6 hours and 50 that she's already done. So that's how we can keep track and make sure that we know how much we've got left to do in the year. How do we actually do the CPD then? Okay, good question. Oh, and by the way, that information that I've shown you there, that is also available to your team leader in the team management and reporting tools. So they also can track and manage this, and maybe also sort of prompt you and coach you and help you to get through the appropriate amount in the time available, which isn't onerous, because if you think about it, 40 hours of CPD over 12 months is, you know, less than 4 hours a month. So it's really not much at all. It's under an hour a week. So let's take a look at what we've got here. If we wanted to go through the certification program, we go to certification. We've done that. Now we're going to focus more on the CPD. And by the way, the live events, but we'll come to that. So I'm going to start off in CPD, and I'm going to go to the content library, because this contains the vast majority of all of the content that you can do continuing professional development learning on. And here's the entire list. And of course, as I scroll down, so that list continues to build. So we're going through A's, now we're into the B's, and then the C's, and so on and so forth. I can search by category, by keyword, or by type. The different types or formats are audio, article, workbook, download, and video. And we've got all of those available in the CPD. The one thing that is not available in the CPD is the standard videos, the lessons from the levels 1 to 3, the modules 1 to 10. Those are not available for CPD because you've already done them. CPD is continuing over and above the level 4 content that you've already done. And I can show you that because this is an example here. If I click on the 14 tenets of customer success part 1, that actually is one of the lesson videos from module 1. And you can see it does not say anywhere on it that I can add this to my CPD. So I'm going to close that. And then what I'll do is I'll show you something that you can add. For example, adjusting to remote working in the new normal. That's a video interview from a HubSpot customer success leader. Here it is. And I can watch that. And that has a value of 19 CPD minutes. And I can just simply click add to CPD. And it is now added to my CPD. And of course, if I go back now to my dashboard, we'll see another 19 minutes has been added to the database. So you can see now time spent in the library is 7 hours and 9 minutes, and time remaining to complete is 32 hours 51. So let's close that. And going back to our content library, let's have a look at something else. And I'm going to scroll down a little bit because I've already done quite a few of these. Here's an article. Customer success is a game changer. Let's have a look at that. So this is a written article. I can read the article. And then at the end, it tells me this is 22 minutes worth. Obviously, it varies a lot. Some are shorter, some are even longer than this. And this one, actually, I've already added to my CPD, so I can't add it again. There's a good example of what you'll see if you've already added something. And if I continue to scroll down, I'm sure I'll find something that I haven't already done as an example of something that's not a video. So let's have a look at what we've got here. We've got quite a few. Measuring customer success. Let's have a look at that one. So there's a little article about measuring, and then a table showing different ways of measuring and how it's done. And that's worth 8 minutes, and I can click add to CPD, and in it goes, and so on and so forth. So you can carry on like that. And in addition to this, if I close that again and go back to here's our library, but if I go to CPD, instead of choosing the library, maybe I've done some training at work. So maybe a product training course or a soft skills course that's been provided for me at work. Well, I can add that through the CPD student submission form. So I'm going to click on CPD student submission form. And then all I need to do is fill out my first name, last name, email address, the type of content, a description, and the publisher. So, for example, I could say it was a course, it was a product training on our application, and the publisher was my company. I'd actually put the company name in there. Just put Acme SAS. How about that? And then the duration, maybe it was a 2-hour course, so I'll put 2 hours, 0 minutes. The date I completed it, I'd fill in there, and then I'd confirm I am accepting responsibility for retaining evidence of completion. Should I be asked for it, I will provide it. And then I click submit, and in it goes, and that 2 hours gets added to the database. Not straight away, by the way. We add that manually for you, so just so you're aware. And there we go. So I can add any content I like outside of the system, as it were, in your own systems, or even reading a book at home, put it in. And also live events. So if I go to live events, and you can see here we have a schedule of live events every month, as I'm sure you know. And we've got all sorts of things here. We've got interviews with women leaders. We've got conversations with an investor on the importance of customer success. We've got a LinkedIn Learning office hours here that I'm doing. Yeah, there's a whole range of different things, and also some from some of our partners as well. So not all. So, for example, there's a customer success festival going on in New York in the middle of March. So mostly they're free. Some are not. Some are paid for. Some of our partners' events are paid for. Ours obviously are free. But you might find some other things. But if there's something that interests you, you can click on it, and then it'll tell you how to register or how to attend, and when the event is, and so on and so forth. So you've got all of those options there. And that will also then automatically add the duration. So if it's a 1 hour webinar, it'll add an hour to your CPD. So also just to finally point out is when I go to the CPD, most of the stuff is in the content library itself, but we've also put some series outside. So there's a couple of series here, customer success debates and essential skills, and we'll probably add more as time goes by. So if I just show you how those work. So essential skills is more of a junior thing, but it could be useful. A range of different basic skills here, and slightly more advanced skills here. So let's say time management, for example. And here's the training divided into a number of parts, roughly sort of 15 minutes each. The whole thing is worth roughly 50 minutes. And once I've completed it and watched all the videos, then I'd click add to CPD, and that's going to add to my CPD. So there we go, that's it. And that's how you manage it through the dashboard. That's how you do it through CPD and live events, and just selecting the thing, watching it or reading it or listening to it if it's audio, and then click add to CPD as required. Don't forget, you can also submit stuff outside of our training as well.